Here are all of the suspension arms and the front idler arms for the Hellcat. I'll show how they work. And then here are the spring mounts. Okay, this is my suspension arm design for the Hellcat. I was originally going to use the same as the Stug, but the Stug, when it's at ride height, the arm swings down quite a bit. The Hellcat's almost level, so it would have interfered with the spring. So I had to use a slightly different design. These are 3 different spring positions so I can adjust my suspension. So this side will mount in the hull. So this side goes in the hull, and these are the wheels that go on this axle here, and it swings up and down like this. And I can put the spring here, here, or here, depending on how much spring rate I want. This is the same spring I used in the Stug, because they're really cheap. They're made for hanging a porch swing, but that gives me some adjustability without using the, because I don't have the eye bolts to be able to adjust it. So it gives me some adjustability there. And this is also 3/4 inch bar. The Stug used 1/2 inch bar, and I bent the corners, but with 3/4 inch bar, it's too thick. So I just cut it and welded it, and with a right angle magnet, it made it actually a lot easier. I think it saved time doing it this way versus bending the angles. So this will be a little bit stronger than the Stug was, a lot stiffer. And these are the wheels I've got. These are 10-inch wheels. They were $295 each, again at Lincoln Surplus Center. These are the return roller brackets. That's just 2 pieces of 5/16 rod with a washer for a screw mounting point and a washer for positioning the wheels.
Okay, the suspension's installed. I'm just going to show you before I put the tires on. I'll have to paint those spacer blocks I added, but this is for the front idler wheel, and it's the same suspension arm, just mounted the spring horizontally, so that'll keep tension on the track. And then for the front and rear wheels, I got the spring on the most forward position. That'll give it the least spring rate. It'll support the least amount of weight. And then in the middle, I moved the spring to this rear position so it'll support a lot more weight on the middle wheels, like I learned in the Stug. That way it turns a lot easier. But I made all 3 positions on the suspension arm so I can adjust if I need to. So that's the basics of how the suspension is going to work, and now I'll put the wheels on.
Okay, the suspension wheels are in. Other than the drive sprocket in the back, of course. There's a big hole where the transmission's going to go. But the back end sits a little higher, but that's expected because of the weight of the engine and gearboxes isn't in there yet. So I'm planning on the center of gravity to be right here in between these 2 wheels, with the gearboxes out here, engine here, and a driver sitting here. So I put most of the weight on these 2 wheels here. And this front sprocket wheel is on a spring too, so it'll sit a little further back once I get the track tension on there. Other side. So there we are. Next up is to build the tracks.